In this video, I'm talking all about some of my favorite in-camera video transitions. So let's get right into the video. Number one, we're going to start nice and easy. This is the Wit Pan. The Wit Pan essentially just consists of a whip at the end of the shot and a whip at the start of the next shot. So at the end of shot one, you're going to hold your camera, do the action, and 3, 2, 1, whip one direction. Now, you want to go ahead, change locations, change your environment, change the outfit, make some sort of change in your scene. You're going to go the opposite direction, and we're going to follow the same movement around. So if you whip to the right on the first shot, you want to follow that same movement around as you come into the second shot. So if I went this way at the end of the first shot, you want to complete that movement and come round this way at the start of the second shot. So shot one ends on this, shot two begins on this, and then we go into our action, and that's a Wit Pan. It's a really easy one to do, but it can look really playful and really awesome when you get this done correctly. Transition number two is the 360-degree transition. So just like the title implies, we're going to do a 360-degree spin. So at the end of shot A, we're going to spin our camera 180 degrees one direction. Now we're going to cut. We're going to go to our second scene. We're going to start rolling, and 3, 2, 1, action into the scene. So just to recap, at the end of the first shot, you're going to rotate in one direction. And at the start of the second shot, you're going to continue that direction to come back to normal position. It's really important, again, that you do the same direction on the movement. If you rotate this way at the end of the first shot and come back in this way, essentially the camera movement is doing this, and you're going to be able to see that in the edit. It's going to look clunky, it's going to look clumsy, and I don't recommend you do that. So follow the movement around and complete the movement. Transition number three is the zoom through. So at the end of the first shot, you want to throw your camera forward. When I say throw, I don't actually mean throw. Keep a firm hold of your camera and just push the camera forward in space. So 3, 2, 1, action. That's what you want to do. Then at the start of the second shot, you want to do the exact same thing. So we're going to start back here. 3, 2, 1, action, push forward, and then into the action. It's really important with this one, especially if you're getting speed on that zoom, that you really hold onto your camera. You don't want to be throwing your camera at your talent. You don't want to be throwing it at your location. Keep a firm hold of your camera. Do the transition. It's going to look awesome. Transition number four is the pass-through. So the pass-through transition requires an object in the foreground. So this is essentially going to be a sliding shot, but you're going to slide past an object in the foreground, and you're going to do this twice in order to create this transition. So at the end of the first shot, you're going to very closely slide your camera towards an object. So this is your object of choice. This could be a lamppost, this could be a wall, this could be absolutely anything that you like, but this is your foreground object. Your subject will be in frame. This is your foreground object. You're going to slide towards this, and then we'll cut. Now at the start of the second shot, we'll start behind another wall, another object, and we'll carry that movement across. So if you went from left to right in the first one, you want to go left to right in the second shot, and vice versa. If you went right to left, you want to do right to left. So at the start of the second shot, we'll start rolling, continue that movement, we'll come out, and we'll go into the action. This, again, is really simple. It's very easy to do. Just make sure you carry on the direction of movement. Don't change directions halfway through because it doesn't work. Keep moving in the same direction and make sure there is an object in your foreground. You're good to go. Next up is the sky tilt transition. And this is kind of like a Wit Pan, but rather than going from left to right, we're going up and down. So at the end of the first shot, you want to tilt up towards the sky. And at the start of the second shot, you want to start from the ground and tilt up. Now, what really helps to sell this transition is if you add a little bit of ricochet or a little bit of a bounce at the end of the second transition. So at the end of the first shot, you go up. At the start of the second shot, you come up from the bottom. And then as you come up into position, you do a little ricochet, a small bounce, and that's really going to help the emphasis of that transition. So again, that one, nice and easy, up, down, up and around. Really simple. Now, next up is the lens cover, and this one you can do one of many different ways. Typically, the one that YouTubers do the most is they hold the camera in front of their face when they're vlogging, and 3, 2, 1, hand over the lens. And then at the start of the second shot, they start with their hand on the lens and they pull away into the next scene. So if you do this at the end of the first shot, move to a different location, do this at the start of the second shot, you're gonna have this really awesome transition. If you wanted to make this look more cinematic and less like a YouTube travel vlog though, then you could punch into a specific object, you could go into somebody's body. There's many different things that you can do with this transition, but essentially you're just zooming into something, something's covering the lens, and when you get that black point, you're going out of something, so you're going in, out, and that's your transition. And then last but not least, we have a match on action. Now this one is super simple. It doesn't require any fancy camera moves. This is all sold from the person in front of the camera. So if you were changing locations, if you were changing your outfits, for example, then all you would have to do at the end of the first shot, you just want to do a big movement. So if you were jumping in the air and you were going to change location, you do a big jump and then you cut. Then at the start of the second shot, you jump up in the air, you do the exact same action, make sure this is identical, do that same action, land, and there you go. You just cut these two clips together and you've got yourself a really simple but really animated transition. So for all of the transitions that are whipping or moving or twisting in some sort of direction, the effect is sold on this motion blur. So when it comes to editing, all you have to do is find the point with the most motion blur on screen. So this is the point where you can't tell what's happening. It's just a screen full of blurry motion. You want to cut at the end of the first shot, cut at the start of the second shot where that blur is, put these two together, and it should perfectly run into one another. And then for the passing through the wall and lens cover transitions, you want to find the point where the lens is completely covered with the object in the foreground. Make the cut at the end of the first clip and at the start of the second clip. Put these together and there you go. You've got yourself another awesome transition. So there you go. Those are my personal favorite 7 in-camera video transitions. If you feel like you learned something from this video, then please do let me know in that comment section below. And if you'd like to see another video on something specific, then just let me know in that comment section below, and I promise I will make that video for you very soon. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you on the next episode. See you there.